All right, and we're back for my first round of VGC draft. It's the first time ever doing a VGC draft, so I'm super excited. I got a team that I think I am pretty comfortable with. The core of Roaring Moon, Golden Ghost, something that I've been using a lot in the more recent series. Tauros is something I used a lot in the early series, same with Sylveon. And we have a lot of cool tech options between all of our mons. So I'm excited. The way that this draft works is you get to declare Terra captains based off of the points that you had to start with and the points that you spend. So currently I have 5, which is a little overkill. But anyways, so the team that I'm bringing to Andrew, or my first fight, is these 5, and of them, all of them can Terra except for Rotom. My opponent, I believe, has 3 Terra captains in Regidrago, Comfey, and Talonflame. Getting into the team builder, starting off with Golden Go. I think Golden Go is going to be our main offensive threat. The only thing it really needs to look out for is Talonflame with Flare Blitzes. And we live a jolly Flare Blitz. Yes, I believe it's Jolly Flare Blitz. I did these calcs a day or 2 ago, so I'm going over it in my head now. I think it's Jolly Flare Blitz. It might live Adamant on a roll. Yeah, this is it. Pretty standard stuff. Mega Rain, Shadow Ball, Nasty Plot, Protect, Terra Steel. Does big damage. The speed was for Modest Regidrago, I believe. That sounds right. I'm going to stick with that. Like I said, I did these a few days ago. So next we have Roaring Moon. It's a full support Roaring Moon. It's kind of my bread and butter whenever I'm using this Pokemon. Breaking Swipe does okay damage. Knockoff is going to be our main wave dealing damage. And then Breaking Swipe plus Snarl is just amazing support for your team. And then Tailwind to match and or beat the opponent's Tailwind. With this speed investment, we outspeed Modest Regidrago. Again, doubling down on Modest Regidrago in Tailwind, specifically if Regidrago is in Tailwind. So if they're not in Tailwind, or if they're Jolly or Timid, excuse me, then it's kind of a scary. But anyways, yeah, that's Roaring Moon. Don't remember what the bulk did. It was something important. I think with a Snarl, it's a really good chance to live a Dragon Energy from Timid. Yeah, it sounds right. We'll go with that. If it gets Helping Handed by Indeedee, then. Yeah. We live a Comfey Draining Kiss from Life Orb, I believe, as well, which is just insane to think about. But cool. So, yeah. We also have Terra Poison if Comfey becomes a problem. They do have Psychic Terrain, so I'm not as worried about Comfey. But we'll see. We also have Snarl, again, Breaking Swipe to mitigate any damage options coming from the opponent's team. Next, we have Tauros. I think the plan for this match, at least for game 1, is to lead Tauros plus Roaring Moon. And Tauros is here, again, also for damage mitigation, but it's also really difficult stab for my opponent to switch in on. So basically, turn 1 will be some support option for Roaring Moon between these 3 moves, probably. And then Tauros doing big damage to something else. So, yeah, with the Assault Vest, we tank hits from everything. It's kind of shocking how bulky this thing is. And yeah, I'm excited to have it on my draft. Terra Steel, just to help out with Regidrago and Psy Spam. Also makes us resist flying moves from Talonflame. So, yeah. Next, we have Rotom. Rotom, unfortunately, is the one Pokemon this week that we are bringing that cannot Terra. But I think it's pretty solid in this matchup. Rotom's a pretty bulky Pokemon in general, so it takes hits relatively well. My opponent has a pretty special team with Regidrago, Indeedee, Talonflame can run special, Comfey special, so we're just dumping the bulk into Spidef mainly. Speed gets Timid Regidrago, so if we see that Timid Regidrago is brought game 1 and we find it to be a problem, we can lead Rotom potentially and Electroweb it or Eerie Impulse it to make it less of a threat, right? After that, we have Sylveon. Sylveon is going to be our main setup sweeper if we end up going down a setup sweep route. My opponent doesn't have a great way of breaking it other than Berserker, and with Terra Fire, Berserker's not really a problem anymore. So, yeah. Terra Blast is Fairy type before I Terrastalize, so this gives me a slightly stronger single target attack than Hyper Voice. So if I really need to do slightly bigger damage to a single target, we have that option. And with Calm Minds and this physical investment, like, we basically become unkillable. So, yep. Also Detect, because Imprison, Protect, Indeedee is a threat, probably. Probably not. And then finally we have Toadscruel. Toadscruel is going to be our main way of punishing Psychic Terrain. With Psychic Seed and Max Physical Bulk, again, this thing's also going to become unkillable. So Terra Water lets us take any random 4 times weak ice moves, right? So makes us resist Talonflame, Fire move, and neutral to Brave Bird. And with Spore, we're able to put everything to sleep, other than there's random safety goggles or Decidueye or Sapsipper Stantler. I think it gets Sapsipper. I don't know. I'll double check that before the battle. But yeah, Trick Room's there. If they end up setting their own Trick Room with Indeedee, we have the option to reverse it. If they set Tailwind with Talonflame, we have the option to just say stop and go slow. So yeah, I think Toadscruel is going to be really solid this match. Anyways, time for the battle. All right, we are back for our battle. This is kind of what I expected. I think I'm going to go with the planned lead with Gold in the back and Sylveon. I'm just going to make sure we use up all our time. I think Rotom looks good. And that's something I'm going to keep in mind for game 2. Yeah. Go with the plan lead. Okay, so this goes bad if it is speed booster, if it's timid Regidrago specifically. But even then, it's not terrible. So I will Tailwind. And I will Close Combat. Timid Specs would be really awkward. So maybe it's worth using our Terra immediately. I'm getting the Tailwind off. Yeah, we'll do it. It was timid, and that looks like Specs. So yeah, I definitely made the right play. Sweet. Brave Bird can come out into Roaring Moon, so I will go into Gold. And I will attempt to Raging Bull the Talonflame. Cool. That is fine. They're acrobatics, not that one thing. So we'll go Roaring Moon, not Brave Bird. Excuse me. Oh, it's not Specs. What item is it? Am I off of my damage calcs? But it is timid. I do know for a fact that it's timid because it outsped Roaring Moon. Although Roaring Moon outspeeds it now. So I will make it rain and I will Breaking Swipe. This should be a double knockout. This Golden Go is nice and strong. Perfect. Okay. So as long as there's no Berserker in the back, we're looking really solid. There he is. Shoot. I can no longer break Berserker. So I will go for a read. Since they are timid Regidrago, I do want to change my lead. Cool. Interesting that it's Gunk Shot, not a Steel move. Little Shadow Ball. I think... Not sure if I should try and play for a miss. But I don't think +1 Shadow Ball is enough to get Berserker, especially if it's Assault Vest. Although if it's Assault Vest, surely they went for a Steel move, right? We'll just Terra Blast. Sylveon is kind of walled by both these things. That is a clutch crit. We live Dazzling Gleam, so I will protect and Calm Mind. Okay, I think Dazzling Gleam is the only thing they have to hit gold. So I think we're fine. So I don't think the crit mattered. Well, I shouldn't say that. I think Terra Blast would have been strong enough to pick up the Berserker. I think. I'm pretty sure it would have been. I don't know. That's something we can calc afterwards. Okay. It's interesting that it pops that up again. Either way, definitely leading Rotom. Wish I brought Wide Guard. Yancha would have been really solid here. I'm gonna quickly calc. I believe since Rotom is timid, or Rotom outspeed, or since they're timid Regidrago, we should live everything from it. How much spit F are we? 44. Dragon Energy is a roll KO. Okay, so it's you plus priority to chip it. Just slightly. And then I want gold in the back and I want Sylveon again. This time we're going to Terra Sylveon if we can. Amot. Interesting. So I will Eerie Impulse the Regidrago and I will go hard Sylveon, I think. Well, hold on. I don't want Sylveon eating a electric move. So maybe it's better to go gold. Yeah, go gold first. Yep, it was double shock. Perfect. So that's a -4 Regidrago. It's not doing much, and Palmot has lost its electric typing, so it can't exactly touch gold, which is good. I will overheat into the Palmot slot, and I will... Do I want to get a nasty plot off? I think so. Make It Rain was definitely better there. All right, well, I will Thunderbolt the Talonflame to break its ability, Gale Wings. And I will go into Tauros to get off an Intimidate. Preserve gold. They are going to win the Tailwind interaction because I didn't bring Roaring Moon. Oh, perfect. -2, close combat's not doing much. Is that Aqua Jet range? I think that's Aqua Jet range. And if they're not, they didn't bring in DD the first game, so I'm kind of thinking they didn't bring it this game. This combat did 28. -1 defenses. Overheat probably gets a KO now. It would be nice to keep Rotom around so I can Eerie Impulse the Ready Drago. So we'll overheat. And we'll Aqua Jet. Perfect. That's a KO'd Palmot. Okay. What do they have in the back? If it's Berserker, we pivot out Rotom. So I don't want to take a fake out and then a Dragon move. We'll CC the Berserker. I think at this point we sack gold and close combat the Berserker. Or is Raging Bull better? We don't drop our defenses. Yeah. So I'm not confident close combat with KO. That's fine. That is definitely Tough Claws. All right, then we go into Rotom. And we can overheat. We can... Ooh. How do we want to play this? Overheat risks a miss. Could Eerie Impulse and Terra Fire and get a Calm Mind off. I think it will overheat. I think it will Calm Mind. We don't need a Calm Mind. What am I doing? Just Hyper Voice. Yeah, that's game. Sweet. Draco Meteor. GG's. Sylveon was hype this match. Came in clutch. I think the fact that Tailwind never went up was really good for me. If Tailwind had gone up that second match, it would have been a lot more awkward. But it worked out. So yeah, that's battle 1. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more.